finally, this part is where I left off and we did not cover in the last lecture, religions of the world. They are the pantheists who believe that God and the material world are one and the same thing. Okay? The beliefs that material world, living and non-living things are all part of God. God is present everywhere. Some kind of permeation, and you might remember this omnipresence and the omnipresent map. You are here. You are everywhere. Oops. And there are many religions who believe in more than one deity. There are multiple deities. And, living things are everywhere. Well, mean the spirit, okay? So pantheism is pan meaning everywhere. They are the Trinity view. And here's the religion of the world. It's a good thing that actually 3/4 of human beings are religious. Christianity, 33%, Islam, 18%. Together, these two religions believe in one God. That means about 50% of the world believe in this one true God. But about 16% believe there are many gods. And another 16 do not believe or don't know. They are the atheists or agnostics, non-religious. Buddhism is a strange religion. It does not talk about God, but it does not deny God, and it also recognizes monotheism as well as pantheism and polytheism. But during all this religious practice, it never worship any God. It's a strange one. That's why minority, 6%. Chinese traditional is basically pantheism and polytheism. Mostly some of the traditional, or more like just the cultural Taoism, not the spiritual Taoism. And then you have the primal indigenous beliefs, so on and so forth. So these are pantheism in these sector, okay, except Buddhism. And that's the distribution of the different religion. Christianity, mainly here. The green ones are Christianity, and the Islam are the blue ones. And then you have the Hindu and the Buddhist in this area, and Chinese religion, and so on and so forth. Google hits God, religion, soul, spirit, ghost, spirituality, near-death experience, all over millions and millions of hits. So, the human consciousness is very, very religious. And finally, I'd like to end with New Age spiritualism. It's actually the end of chapter 3, but it's just as appropriate for this lecture. We like to try to define God. So just pause a moment, give ourselves a minute. When we say God, what do we think God is like? Okay, see if you agree with these statements. He's the origin and eternity. Agree? God is omnipresent everywhere. Agree? That is another characteristic of God. Omnipotent, he can do anything. He creates all. Correct? He's all wise, all knowing. Okay? That's God. God has a plan, intelligent design. The plan has a beginning and end. Some Christianity believe that. Islam do not believe that. I don't know what Islam believes. Does it? Yes?
End of the universe or everything?
Yeah, okay, end of universe. So there is a beginning and an end.
Yeah.
Okay. So, anything else I missed out? Anyone? Okay, so, well, that's just about the definition of God then. Okay. Now you recognize this definition of God has a lot to do with our consciousness level. Remember the reaction to bump thing? It's a fairly high energy level consciousness. God's view, our view of what God should be. Right? So this New Age definition of God has evolved from the Old Testament, which represent a much lower consciousness level where God is punitive. I flood you and drown you all. I have a big fire, kill you all sinners, kill, kill, kill. Very punitive, punishing God, merciless God, right? So that energy level thing, kind of, you can see the evolution of God in our mind. Okay, so if everyone accepts this as the definition of God, then I got news for you. Let us compare God with energy. It's just a language difference, it's semantics. The origin and eternity, energy cannot be created or destroyed. Right? Cannot be destroyed means eternal. The origin. Nothing can create it. It's the origin. It's omnipresent. Well, energy is everywhere. Even where we don't think there's energy, there's dark matter. Omnipotent. It creates all. Well, energy makes up everything. It's all-knowing. Well, we talk about information, entropy. Entropy is information. It's energy. It has a plan. It has intelligent design. Yes, we see all this law of physics that underlies the law of chemistry, which is the basis of the law of biology, the basis of the Gaia and interestness. We see it, that it designed everywhere because it's information. Has beginning and end. Well, energy always transforms from one form to another. So when it transforms, it makes a new beginning. When it transforms again, that's the end of that thing, that state. Okay? So everything we have defined God, semantically, we can describe the same using a scientific language, and we can call them energy. Now, would you pray to energy? We don't pray to energy, but we pray to God. And yet, there's no difference here. So who's right? Who's correct? That's correct, that's correct. And if you believe you're correct, and you don't believe you're correct too, okay? The yes, no, no, yes, no, no, okay? In Buddhism, we always say this four point of view, north, east, south, west. Okay? There's yes, correct. No, correct. Not yes, correct. Not no, correct. So, conclusion, is God and ghosts real? God or energy exists. We just convince ourselves of that. The critical question is whether ghosts exist. Because if ghosts, we think in our mind that ghosts is a figment of our imagination, then all religion will collapse. There's no God if there's no ghost. Luckily, 3/4 of humans are religious. Let's hope. Religions are evolving into spiritualism because of the relevance and outdated dogma. Religion needs to evolve, to keep up with society, to keep up with science and technology. And they are evolving. Science has provided basis for spiritualism, as we can see from Gaia theory and so on. They are all scientific theories, but actually it is a new age spiritualism. A single cell in the body will never know the body, will never know it's agnostic, unless the cell gnostic. Okay, so I just leave it like that. Okay. So that's the conclusion from lecture number 3. And in lecture number 3, I'm going to make some predictions on spiritual evolution. Well, in the modern days language, scientific predictions are based on theories. Okay? So in today's language, we use prediction, the word. In the old language, we'll use the word prophecy. So we have seen this. Atheism evolved into I don't believe, I don't know what to believe, and I believe into, there's spirituality, not that breaking away from the old theological dogma into using metaphysics as a platform to further evolve science and religion into collective consciousness, the same way that kinesiology can quantify our level of consciousness and give us a direction in our spiritual practice, which we'll discuss in detail in this lecture. Christianity or the Gnostic and Buddhism, especially the Mahayana sect, there's a 2 sects within the religion. Within the Christianity religion, there's the Gnostic sect, and within the Buddhism religion, there's the Mahayana. They will come together, and the other religion will follow this unification, reunification of these great religions. That is my prediction. And after this leadership, science will follow. Not only will science follow, it will support. Not only will it support, it will merge into this new form of spiritualism